Hey guys, I feel like I haven't been on YouTube in a while, even though it's literally been like 3 to 4 days. So if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know this already, but I recently made a new TikTok and I'm going to do like a little experiment. I'm going to try to post as often as possible, and so far I've been posting 2 to 3 times a day, and it's been like 2 days, I think. And I'm going to try to do this for at least 2 weeks, but hopefully a month, and see how much and how far I can go. TikTok has really just made me realize how much I appreciate YouTube and how much I love you guys. Like, people talking and me being on YouTube gives me genuinely so much joy. And then talking to people on TikTok constantly makes me feel like I'm gasping for breath, like I'm trying to like prove something, which I'm really not. And people keep asking me like, oh, no one asked, like, why did you post this? And it's just really tiring, and it's made me reflect a little bit over the past like day and a half or so that I really do appreciate YouTube and you guys being here and me having like a platform, even though, you know, it might be considered like kind of a small platform, but I'm just so grateful that I have you guys. So yeah, that's it for my little sappy intro. If you're new here, that might have seemed really weird, but like, hi, I'm Chloe. Usually I'm not sentimental, but it's just that kind of day, you know? We're just kind of feeling it today. But alright, so we're just gonna jump right into the video now after a minute of an intro. But today we're going to be talking about my UChicago college essentials, things that really have gotten me through college. So this video is going to be split up into like 2 sections within the video, and as usual, I have all the detailed timestamps down below. But the first part is going to be more like products and things that I use, and then the second part is going to be more like tech-based and like apps that I use, or just like management things that I use. So let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing, which is also the most important thing in my opinion, which are these. This is essentially eye drops, and these are special eye drops because they're actually anti-exhaustion eye drops. So this one's a little bit less intense than this one. This one is a Japanese brand called V+, and it kind of stings when you put it into your eyes, especially since I have contacts, so it especially stings when you like drop them into your eyes. And this one is the one they sell on, I think, Amazon. It's called Roto, and it's not as like stingy, but when you put it into your eyes after a while, you just feel so refreshed. And for me, it's the perfect way to signify to my brain like, sit down, it's work time, it's productive time. So I always have these on me. They're a little bit expensive. I think they're like $9 for like one of these, but this singular bottle has also lasted me 2.5 quarters, and it's not finished yet, so highly recommend this. This has honestly gotten me like through finals and through midterms and through studying, so everything will be linked down below, but like honestly, these. Second thing is kind of a bit more basic, but it's a pair of headphones, and I've tried out all of them. So I have like AirPods and like in-ear, like the classic with the not wireless headphones with the adapter. I've tried out the wireless kind. This is an old Bose, I think it's the Quiet Comfort 35. It's the 1st generation, so now I think there's like a 3rd or 4th gen. Looking at all of these options, don't get AirPods, but rather get AirPods Pro, because you really want that like noise cancelling effect. But if you can afford it / if you prefer it, I personally like these the most, even though like I got these as a hand-me-down. I've used them for like a while, and they are, you know, 1st generation, but I really enjoy them and I think they're great. So yeah, I think invest in a good pair of headphones, or even just a meh pair of headphones. Like these, I think you can get them for $100 on eBay. So yeah, you know, cop yourself a pair of headphones and it will make your studying session so much better. I really didn't believe in it because I'm the kind of person who like, I don't need music when I study, but having something over your head kind of stabilizes you and puts you like in the zone, and that has really helped me a lot. Next one is this, which is a little black, just like leather notebook. This particular one is from Moleskine, but of course you do not need a Moleskine notebook. But yeah, so this is not my planner, and if you've been on this channel for a while, you know that this is my planner that I've been using. And yeah, it's essentially just like, oh, I have like some sketches here in the back, but essentially it's like this, and you can just jot down different things according to this little template that they have. But the reason why I say this is a necessity is because when you go to like an info session, or you go to like a career meeting, or you go to an academic advisor meeting, or you have just like some notes you want to write down about anything or some like random idea. In my case, it's YouTube ideas. Having a notebook like this is perfect. It's perfect for a professional setting, it's perfect from a semi-professional setting, for school, for casual, and it's small and easy to throw in your bag. So for me, this is probably my third notebook at UChicago. So I had one for first year, and I had one for summer of first year plus spring break and a little bit of second year, and then now I'm on my third one for end of second year / gap year stuff. But yeah, so I just write down anything I want in these, and it helps me just put down all my thoughts together. And when you flip through them, it's much more chaotic, and I personally think it's a lot of fun. So yeah, very important, especially for info sessions, honestly. Next one is this, which is a really big charger. And this one is big enough that it can charge your entire laptop. It can charge your iPhone 8 times, and it can charge your iPad like twice or something. And the reason why I have this is because you can bring this on planes, you can put this in like a classroom, a library, and oftentimes, especially at UChicago, the lecture halls only have like 3 or 4 outlets, and there's like 70 students wanting to use those outlets. And so having something like this is honestly a life-saving mechanism, because when I want to take notes, then I can just pull this out. That being said, this is really expensive, so I would definitely recommend getting a fast charger or getting a smaller, more like portable version of this that's maybe like half as big in terms of wattage, and you can charge your computer like halfway instead of this one, which can charge full way. And this is Type-C 20,000 mAh, if anybody was curious. I mean, there's really not that much to say. This is a hard drive. I actually have not been using this a lot, which is also the reason why I lost all my data, but we don't talk about that. Use the hard drive, kids. Next item is more of like an accessory, but it is very essential to my life. And if you're like an international student or someone from China, you probably have seen these before, but this is basically like the superior, best possible version of a pop socket. I really don't know why people use pop sockets. Like they seem not stable and you can't like hook them on stuff. So I currently have a black one mounted to my phone, and it's just great. Like it swings around, it prevents it from falling, and I can like stand it on a desk, and I don't know, it's just great. I guess next one is kind of just like stationary-esque things. So I have this little pouch where, I mean, I got this from some store that was like, it's a Muji knockoff, but if you're a Muji type of person, get a Muji version. But yeah, I just have all my miscellaneous wires in here. So I have like an aux cord, I have Android, I have Type-C, I have a mini lightning cable, and I usually also have this, which is a hard drive. Now you might be asking yourself, like, Chloe, you know, all of your classes, all the assignments and everything, they should be online, right? Like, why would I ever need a hard drive? Psych! The freaking printers in the reg or in the library usually are very unreliable, and at least for me, when I put the file on my student card, it will take forever for it to refresh. So honestly, I just resort to putting files on here and then sliding them in. That being said, because I also use this and my computer is a USB-C, this little dongle has honestly saved my and also a lot of just like random strangers at the library's life. This little silver thing, it basically converts USB-A to USB-C, and it is a lifesaver, and it's very cheap. It's like, I think I got mine for $7, but you can invest in one that's slightly more expensive. Onto my like pencil bag thing. So I've had this particular one for like 4 years now. So I've been having this one for a while, which is also why I usually like to invest in more expensive things, just because my things do last a really long time. So this one in particular is the Issey Taobao collection, and I have my, I mean, real ones will know who this is. Need I say more? But I have 3 favorite pens, or rather the same pen but in 3 different colors, that I have been using since high school, and they got me through IB, they got me through AP, they got me through the SATs, they got me through college and finals and papers and all of this shit, which are these. Now, these are the P500 by Pilot, and the 0.5 thickness. I've tried the 0.7, I've tried the 0.34 or 3.5 or 3.8, I think it's 0.38. And honestly, the 0.5s are perfect. Some people, you know, might want that like thicker like rubbery hand grip thing, but I personally think that this nib is absolutely just perfect. When you write stuff, it just flows off the paper, and most importantly, it doesn't leak. If you're like a stationery person, you've definitely heard of the Pilot P700s, and they're like the square tipped ones, and I used to love them, but they would leak and stain all my fingers and my clothes and my test papers, and it'd just be terrible. And if you like pour water on it accidentally, then it bleeds. This one doesn't, and I love it. And I can write, you know, on my little notebook, and if I take like the last page of it, I mean, you can kind of see it, but like it doesn't bleed. I really like it. So yeah, it's definitely not a fancy pen, but they're also definitely not cheap. So I have bought a box of black, a box of blue, and 3 pens of red, and they have lasted me a year and a half. So I would say I think it was $40 in total, which I know is a lot for like 30 pens, but to me it was super worth it. So there you go. Next one is something a bit more of like an accessory. But so me personally, when I first started first year, I had this card holder thing in the back of my phone, and that was great and all, but I just wasn't feeling very comfortable putting my bank card and my like IC, or in your case maybe a driving license. So instead I changed to something like this, which is like a flip open wallet, and it just goes like this, and you can slide your cash in this little like this pocket thingy right here, and you can put your cards and stuff right here, and it's very useful. Or, because I'm even more lazy now, I've resorted to using something like this, which is just, you know, a little card holder, and you can put like cash like in the middle. The only problem with this and kind of this is that you can't keep coins. But honestly, there are very few circumstances in which you will need to use coins, because if you're a first year on campus, or you're in campus a lot, you have maroon dollars that are attached to your ID card. And if you are not on campus, usually you can use your debit or credit card. So there you go. Last item thing is this. And you might be saying, Chloe, that's literally just a folder. I mean, yes it is, but also it's a very critical folder for every international student to have. So this folder has all my very like spicy documents. So you have like my banking statements, proof of like my parents' banking statements, my copy of my birth certificate, my I-20, and copies of my I-20, passport photos, receipts. All of this stuff just goes in this folder, and I never take it out. I just bring the entire folder with me if I ever need to like go somewhere or go to the airport or something. Every international student needs something like this. If it's like there's a fire, you grab this, you grab your passport, you grab your wallet, and maybe your cat in my case, and then you're good to go. Alright, we're ready for the second part of this video. The first application is Spark. It is a smart email management app that I think is only available on your laptop, but it honestly has saved my life so many times, because what you can do is you can toggle specific senders to go into specific folders that you create, like smart folders. So I have a folder that's just schoolwork, and then I'll toggle like UChicago, all my professors for that quarter, along with like, you know, the office or career advancement into specific folders, and I can divert like all my YouTube stuff, and then I kind of just go through the folders, and everything else, when I have time, then I'll look through it. But at least, you know, my most important stuff are in my smart folder, so highly recommend. The second one is Magnet. And if you haven't heard of Magnet and you're a Mac user, just buy it. Just trust me and just buy it. It's $1. What it does is that it snaps applications to screen. So I'll try to insert a photo somewhere here or a video of what it looks like. But essentially, you know, sometimes you're working on 2 things or 3 things at once, and you want all 3 things happening on your screen. Instead of manually like dragging it and lining each of the applications up, Magnet snaps it to your screen immediately. If you're a Windows user, you might think this sounds stupid, because I think Windows already has this function, but it's $1 on Mac, and it's very essential, so please get it. The next one is Google Photos. Honestly a lifesaver, pretty much only for your iPhone and your iPad, but it automatically backs up all of your photos, all of your videos. I have over 210 gigs of photos and videos on this phone, and all of it is backed up onto Google Photos, and I did not have to pay an extra cent. It's just amazing. I also personally have Google OneDrive, which means I pay, I think, $2 or $3 a month for an extra like 100 gig, or is it 200 gig of just like online storage, and I store all of my school files on there, so my textbooks are really big, and any of my like professor lectures that I download I also store on Google Drive, and so for me that's kind of essential. I might stop it recently just because I'm not in school anymore, and it probably won't be for a while, So I might stop that. But if you're in school and you're going to school, I personally think keeping all your school files in Google Drive is a great idea, so you can avoid bad data management. Yeah, okay, I'm not over it yet, guys, sorry. The next one is a money management app. So I personally use Mint, but you can also, I've heard great things about NerdWallet, and I used Albert for a little while and I really liked it, but it just, the chatbot function felt really odd to me, and aesthetics matter to me kind of. So I chose Mint over the other, but I've heard great things about NerdWallet. I just haven't tried it myself yet. The reason why you need a money management app is if you are a freshman, money just goes like, so you're buying like a vacuum, you're buying like a little steamer, you're buying your friend's coffee, or you're going out, you're paying for like an Uber and you maybe forget to split it. These little charges really add up. And if you don't budget correctly, you're going, I guarantee it, you're going to regret it. And I'm not talking about budgeting as in, you know, like calorie counting, like writing down every single thing you should spend on this and all of these different categories. Just write down everything you spend for 2 weeks, right? Just spend as you will, write down everything you spend, and at the end of the 2 weeks, look at your spending and see what are areas that you think are not sustainable, what you think are like one-time purchases, and any like upcoming things that you need to budget for. So for me, for example, whenever I'm going on a competition for MUN, so like Model UN, whenever we're going to Boston or we're going to like Washington DC or somewhere, I have to budget for that because, you know, our Ubers are not always like paid for, and I have to pay for my own lunch sometimes and dinner, or just, you know, I like to have extra money around, and I give myself a really strict budget. I give myself like $30 a week. I covered this in the last video. If you guys are interested to see more about like my finances and, you know, how I like make money and all my different side hustles that I've like kind of mentioned on this channel but not really, let me know down below, and I guess I'll make a video on that. But I don't know, it feels really weird talking about money, even though it really shouldn't be that odd. But anyhow, so the money management app, I personally use Mint. If you are a finance person and you're looking for the perfect news app, I've tried Wall Street Journal, I've tried Barron's, I've tried Bloomberg, and out of the three, my favorite one is Bloomberg. So right now I pretty much stick to CNN, BBC, sometimes China Daily, and then Bloomberg, as well as Medium, which is like a fun, like cool article reading. It's not really so much news as articles, but I really enjoy it, and it gives me joy reading. So I recommend Bloomberg and I recommend Medium. Bloomberg might have a student discount. Honestly, you can split it with your friend and multiple people can use one account. I've had 3 or 4 people on my account before, and it's worked out perfectly fine. And as for Wall Street Journal, I think they had a $1 a week for 15 weeks student sale or something, but I don't think it's on anymore. But please go ahead and double check that because I'm not up to date on what's going on there. Alright, the next one is designated browsers. So like Safari, I use Chrome, but I also use Brave. So I use Safari for school stuff, so like all the shibboleth, you know, all like the UChicago login, Canvas, whatever. I use that for Safari. For Chrome, I use more for YouTube. For everything else, so like my personal life, fun stuff, online shopping too much, or just like looking up fun facts or whatever, I use Brave. And the reason is because Brave is kind of like DuckDuckGo, if you know what that is. But essentially there's a hidden VPN embedded within your browser in that it obscures your IP address and it protects your data. It also serves as an ad blocker, so that's really useful for me. Of course, please don't watch my videos on an ad blocker because don't skip the ads, guys. The next one is honestly a website. It's zlibrary/librarygenesis/yandex.com. These are the 3 libraries online websites that I use to find free PDFs and free books and stuff. So for Library Genesis, that is my absolute go-to if it is a fiction book or a non-fiction book, like a novel or something. Why is there a motorcycle outside? Anyhow, so I use Library Genesis first, and if I can't find it, then I go on zLibrary, and zLibrary is usually for textbooks. Also quite like well stocked because I found a decent number of textbook PDFs on there. And then the last one is Yandex, which is honestly like a last ditch, last resort kind of situation. Yandex is like Russian Google. So sometimes if you type in the book's name plus PDF and you like click every link on the first page, you could get really lucky. I've gotten really lucky 2 or 3 times. One of the times was super important because it was for my like Econ 200s course, and it was like the intermediate economics textbook with like calculus or something, and no one could find it, and I found it and I just like sent it out to my friends, and so Yandex really saved my butt that time. But I also have another like secret card for you guys, and this pretty much only applies to international students. But if you lived in China or you know a Chinese friend, ask them to go on like Taobao, which is like, you know, taobao.com, and search the name of the PDF, or hire people. It's like $2 or something to hire people, less than $2 to hire someone to help you go scour the internet to find that PDF. And I've had great success with this, especially for past papers or for exercises or for question banks. For example, if you're like studying for the GMAT, or like if you're in high school, I guess, for the IB or AP or SAT or anything like that, buy it there. It's so cheap and you have all the resources. If you're a college student, I bought like one PDF on there before, but everything else I could pretty much find on the websites that I've mentioned, so it should not be that big of a problem. So these are the apps that I think are very essential to the way I study at UChicago. Of course, there are some things that I just like to use for fun, like obviously Procreate, you do all of my YouTube thumbnails, and like Villo or Video Leap to edit all my videos. But I don't really include them on this list because I wanted to cater to more what I think a normal college student, or at least a normal college student at UChicago, I feel like would really, really utilize. And also this video doesn't include what I take notes on my iPad, because I have a whole video dedicated to that, so if you're interested in that, please go ahead and check that out. But yeah, I guess that's it. I just wanted to reiterate that you guys are beautiful. I love you guys so much, and having you guys here really, really means a lot to me. And I think being on another platform for a little while, like 2 days, has really made me realize how much I cherish this one. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys later this week. Bye bye.